Greetings, one and all. And my name is Jason Davis. This is Empower Evolution, Common Sense. And wow, sometimes common sense is just not too damn common. I hate to tell you that, folks, but that's the truth of the matter. We're coming to you from an undisclosed location hidden in a hermetically sealed iron bunker, hermetically sealed for my protection, and we're somewhere in the highlands of West Volusia County, covered and guarded by 2 rabid Pomeranians and 5 crazy cats, and nobody's sent me a message that wants a cat. Oh, well. I could hook you up if you'd like, but anyways, that's okay. They're sweet little babies, and of course, all of our little critters around here are well taken care of and loved, and that's the way it works. And I will tell you, folks, wow, what a wild week this has been, and I apologize. I get a little busy, here around the old iron bunker, mowing yards and cleaning up the pastures and taking care of animals and things like that, and I get so. It's been so hot lately. I mean, past couple of days, it's been like way up there. So it's kind of hard to, come on in and out of the heat, and you want to sit down and do a podcast, but you're just so exhausted and tired. So I have to do these early in the morning. And so there you go, my friend. I am doing these one early in the morning because today's date is March 26th, 2020. And it's in the morning a.m. So I don't know whenever you're listening to this. I hope you enjoy it. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, what's on everybody's mind? The Wuhan flu. Yeah, I'll call it the Wuhan flu. I'll call it the Chinese virus. Folks, I've never been accused of being politically correct in any way, shape, or form of the word. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to start today. So I'm not going to be politically correct. Yes, this is the Wuhan flu. Came to us from China, just like SARS came from Southeast Asia, or was it Saudi Arabia? Yeah, the Saudi Arabian. And so we name it after where it came from. And the reason, the term, by the way, pandemic means panic epidemic. So this is a panicking epidemic, and most of the panic is brought on by our media, of course. This is not something to play with, by the way. I'm not downplaying this in any way, shape, or form. This is a nasty, nasty little bug. And it seems very funny. Somebody posted on Facebook about a week ago. It's kind of interesting that a Chinese virus with a Mexican name is attempting to take down Trump now. So I found some humor in that. There is some humor. There's one of the rabid Pomeranians. He's sitting in the studio with dear old daddy right now, and he's just kind of listening to me as I do my podcast. He's wondering who I'm talking to, and I'm talking to you. Yes, you. So here we go. The stimulus package, which is supposed to have been signed a week ago. Here's the one thing, folks, that you have to understand. If the Senate and the House do not take all that garbage out that Nancy Pelosi flew on a private jumbo jet. Yeah, she flies around like a DC-10 or some silly thing, this humongous private airplane. And she flies back from California, leaving her carbon footprint all across the country as she chugs along with this fuel-guzzling, carbon-burning monster for her and her 10 people and staff, because of course we wouldn't want her to be flying a public flight. Of course, she's so important. Yeah, she, you know what? She really thinks she is important.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
She really thinks she is super important. That's why she has to have a private jet there to fly her and her 10 staff members across the country at taxpayer expense, by the way, folks. This woman, and I'm going to kind of go off subject for a moment, because this woman who has been in government for the past, 40 years, 50 years, I mean, literally, since World War II, it seems like, she has been in Congress, and she has got all the plans to fix the country, but she ain't done it yet because she doesn't have a plan. She just has a way. And here's the other thing. she's, and this is all over the internet, so this is not something new. I'm speaking out of turn. She's worth over $200 million. Why are you in Congress? It's like this. These people who are multimillionaires, they really, they made money in government. That's what they did. They made money in government. Now, years ago, you could do insider trading as a congressman. And Nancy Pelosi did because they wrote the law that exempted them from insider trader laws. But now they repealed that law. So here's the real deal. Now, if she does insider trading and gets caught, she can go to jail. And there are 4 Congress members, 3 representatives, 2 senators and 3 senators. There's 4 people up there in the government that are accused of insider trading because they knew the coronavirus or the Wuhan flu was coming here, and they quick sold all their stock. They liquidated. Well, that's kind of insider trading. And they made a lot of money. Millions and millions of dollars. And they want to claim that, it's a blind trust. I don't know what they're doing with it. You had to give somebody the information. You were the only people that knew. So don't blow smoke up my skirt, and I'm not wearing a skirt. But don't blow smoke up everybody's fourth point of contact there, and try to let everybody think you have no idea what's going on, because any fool and their money is very soon parted. And a fool would not be on top of what their stocks and their 401ks and everything else are doing. And by the way, if you have money in the stock market, leave it alone. Don't withdraw. I'm telling you, the market will come back. It's already back up. As of yesterday, last I saw, when I kind of scooted through the old iron bunker on my way to the front porch, to fix the front porch screen so the crazy cats didn't get out in the yard and create havoc around the world. I noticed that the stock market was up to 20,000 shares in trading. So that's good numbers. We're coming back, and the government will come back, and the stock market will come back. And your 401k will come back, and it may come back even stronger. So instead of selling right now, folks, I'm going to just give you a little information, not insider trading. Buy. Buy. That's what you need to do now. Because stocks are lower, and you buy them lower, and in a couple of months, they'll go higher, and you'll be hundreds of millions of dollars ahead. If I had hundreds of millions of dollars to pay into this thing, I would do it. But then again, I wouldn't be doing a podcast for fun. No, I wouldn't. So anyway, here we go once again, my friends. Yes, another exciting adventure in the continuing saga of As the Stomach Turns. And in today's episode, Nancy Pelosi flies back from California. Special trip to bring forward her view of what the stimulus package for the American people should be. That's right, folks. She flew all the way back from California last Sunday just to grab the senator, the minority leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, and tell him what was going to be in that stimulus package. That you heard, yes, my dear friend, you heard. She told him what to do. Now, there's a term for the two houses. The House of Representatives is the lower house, and the Senate is the higher house. That's what they're called, the lower and the higher house. That's in the Constitution. So I'm sorry, folks, that's what they call it. Oh, the rabid Pomeranian is barking along here. Easy, Fang, easy. That's the old skipper dude. But anyways, so he gets upset when I talk about her. Anyway, so she told him what to do, and like a very diligent little child, yes, no comments from the peanut gallery over here, like a diligent little child, he said, "Yes, dear. Yes, ma'am. I'll do exactly what you want." And he did. He interjected into that stimulus packet, some really crazy things. And what were some of the add-ons into the legislation that she wanted? Oh, she wanted voter registration on the day of election. What? She wanted $35 million for the Kennedy Center. What? She wanted illegal immigrants to be able to vote without voter ID, without having to register or show any kind of identification that you are an American citizen. That is part of the stuff that she wanted in there. She also wanted carbon emissions notations on every single airplane flight. Do you know how? Wow, that's you're just creating another level of government. She also wanted to create an investigatory committee to look into the handling of the Wuhan flu by President Donald J. Trump so we could possibly impeach him. Still on the impeachment bandwagon. I mean, these are a couple of the things that were in this. This was ridiculous. This took this $2 trillion bill, this $2 trillion in spending, and jacked it all the way up. She was trying to throw in there so many of the new Green Deal issues into this legislation that it was going to bankrupt the country. Now, let me explain to you what this largest stimulus relief bill was meant to do. It was meant to help you, my friend. It was meant to help your neighbor, the small business owner, the guy who runs the handy store, the guy who owns the fix-it shop down the road, all the little mom-and-pop stores and venues and businesses. It was designed to help them. It was designed to help the restaurants, the local restaurants, and even some of the big chains. It's like this, folks. Everybody says, "Oh, they're just trying to help big government." Let me just say this about that: they're not trying to help big government with these add-ons. They're only in it for one thing only. That's it. They were only in it for money. If you think the new Green Deal or any part of its workings doesn't pay these senators and congressmen money, you're wrong. See, Nancy Pelosi put into that legislation, she also said, we need tax credits for solar panels and windmills. And oh my goodness, you're right. But there's only one problem. Her son owns one of those companies, and her son is one of those that's going to reap the benefits from billions of dollars. Can we say quid pro quo? It sounds exactly like what Joe Biden did with his son and the Ukraine to help get him money. And he literally took money and did nothing. He doesn't even know why he got the job, but he did. Oh, that's because his dad was the vice president. Oh. I mean, come on. Really, folks, this is... Go ahead, Forrest, say it.
Promises stupid as a stupid does.
That's right, and that was just plain out stupid. So, of course, the Republicans who hold the majority in the Senate, said no, we're not going to pass that. And here's the great thing about having a constitutional style government, a Democrat or a Republic, if you will, if we can keep it. We're really fighting hard to keep a free country and a republic, because the President of the United States, and here's the best part, if that bill would have gone over, see, they only sent all that crap on there, so they were trying to set up Donald Trump, the President of the United States. They were trying to set him up, as always. So they're going to add all this garbage into this bill, thinking the Senate will just pass it just to get it through so we can get the money to the people, because they were supposed to give every taxpayer $1,200. Now, I don't know, what about the non-taxpayers, like the retirees? Are they going to get $1,200? Well, probably not, because they're getting pensions and things. That makes sense. But if you pay taxes on whatever years they said, you're going to get to $1,200, which is a good thing. But they were trying to just get the Senate to pass it, and they knew the House would just throw it through, pass it right along. So the president could not, so he could veto it. That's the only reason why they set up, and Nancy came back from California to set this up. Yes, just so that they could set up the president. And in an election year, this is all about politics now. We've gone from a real virus issue, from a real illness where people are dying, people are getting sick, hospitalized, and it's horrible. I mean, this is a horrible way to get sick. I mean, you get a headache, you get a fever, I guess you get a little bit of a sinus infection, and then whammo, it goes right to your lungs, and it's a dry cough, which is very important because, see, if you have a mucousy cough, your body's trying to get this virus out. But if you have a dry cough, you can't get it out. It just lingers. Yeah, and then you get to the end of it. But, there's hope for us because we found some things that are helping. But digress. They know that this, in an election year, this virus coming through couldn't have helped Nancy Pelosi anymore. And Joe Biden, he's up there, we should do this and do that. And he's doing anything that is totally opposite of what Donald Trump is doing. The president of the United States is trying to save your life. And he's doing a pretty darn good job. There are going to be some casualties. This is not his fault. He has done everything. But you know what? I will tell you what. The real problem is people are out there breaking quarantine or not self-quarantine when they go from one area to another. Quit coming to Florida, New Yorkers. Stay home. You're on quarantine. Stay there. Don't bring your germs down here to Florida. But you did. And now we have outbreaks in Florida. Last I heard it was like 1,500. And it wasn't because of us. It was because people flew into Orlando International Airport, hit the ground, said, all right, I'm on vacation, or, Jay, I'm here in my summer home. And they went on about their merry way and going to stores and touching everything and, talking to people and sneezing and coughing in public and spreading this virus. You got to stop. And not everybody from New York is coming down, but unless you don't know you do not have this, you should consider yourself having it. And that goes for everybody. I mean, I know I don't have it because, I've been locked in the iron bunker for like 2 weeks, and I would be sick by now. So I'm going to say I'm pretty safe, and so has the lovely better half. But anyway, so, but they did all this just so that they could get Donald Trump in trouble in November.
Let's get ready to rumble!
But you got to see one thing, and I've noticed this from day one of Donald J. Trump's presidency. He doesn't do anything unless he knows what's going to happen. He does. He sees into the future somehow. It's amazing how he can say, okay, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this because I know this and this and this will happen if I do this. His tweets are intentional to anger the Democrats and, his objective people who object to everything he's doing. And he does it purposely just to get them wound up so that they can't focus on anything else except their Trump dementia syndrome. Yeah, I'll call it, derangement syndrome. It's Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, the TDS. And these people have it so bad that, you looked at CNN when in January, early January, when this thing started to go around, and they were saying, why is Donald J. Trump? He shouldn't close the borders. He shouldn't do this. There's no problem. This is nothing worse than just a regular flu. Blah, 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 blah. And now they're all saying, he should have closed it earlier. He should have did this. He should have done that. He should have done. This just goes to prove, folks, that the lamestream media has no idea what they're talking about, and neither do the Democrats in the Senate or the House. And I hate to break your news. If you live in California or New York, you need to sit back and think this through. The only reason why they added all that crap into the bill was just so that Donald Trump would veto it and they could turn around and say, look, he vetoed your stimulus package. That's it. But luckily for you, luckily for you, your neighbor, the small business owner, the big business owner, the me's, the retirees, and everybody else out there in the world, in the United States, we have Republicans who read legislation. Isn't that funny? Go figure. They put a pile of papers on and say, yeah, you need to read this, and they do. Oh, my goodness. Having been in government, I know how much of a pain that can be. Here, you got to read this 700-page document. Luckily for us, it's like quadruple spaced in large letters, and it's if you condensed it down to a book, it's about a 75-page book. But I mean, it's laid out so you can read it easily and quickly, and that's why. And they looked through this bill. It was like what? It went from like 200 or 300 pages to like 1,200, 1,500 pages with all their garbage add-ons and everything else. And they said no. And so the Democrats thought this would be a win-win. Well, because the Senate will hold back on the vote of it, they win because see what the Republicans are doing? They're not voting on your packet. No. What has happened, though, is this. Thank you to the Internet and Twitter and everything else that's out there in the world, we have instantaneous news, right? So the news comes up, and you go, what's going on here? The bill is blocked by whom? Oh, now you find out that the rhetoric and the BS from the Democrats is for naught. And the media has lied to you because now you know the truth. You got it right there in front of you. It's on that little square screen that you're staring at 90% of the day.
You can't handle the truth.
And you should be able to handle the truth because the truth of the matter is this, that the Democrats in the United States governmental systems, the elected officials, will do anything they can to get rid of Donald J. Trump. And every time they try to do this, his numbers rise in the polls. Every time they do this, people are going, why are you doing this? And they turn and they go to Trump. They have lost a large chunk of their demographics for votes because they've got Joe Biden, a guy that is suffering from, dementia, because he has no idea what he's doing. I mean, let's be realistic, folks. He's several years ago, Joe Biden had brain surgery. He had a cyst in his brain. It's public knowledge, no secrets here. And they had to remove that cyst. Now, when you have a cyst in the brain, what happens is it actually destroys the active brain cells around it. And it was up in his frontal lobe, I guess, because ever since then, he's just like been floating along. So if somebody said he had half a brain, you could probably say, yeah, I'm pretty close. I mean, not being mean or anything, but he has had brain surgery, and he has lost capacity to function as a senator or definitely as the leader of the free world. This guy's ideas, he swings from left to right to left to right. I mean, he swings all over the place, and I'm not saying far right either. He bounces off the middle and goes right back left. The guy, his ideas, he has no idea what he's talking about. He has no idea where he's going. He has no idea about a plan. Oh, we'll do this. All he wants to do is cost the government more money. And you and me, let me just say this. He's not costing the government a single penny because all the money in the government is ours. It's our money, folks. It's not the government's money. It's our money. If everybody quit paying taxes, our government would fail, or they would have to go to a different taxing source like they did before 1927 or 30, whenever they started. I did a thing on this in the 30s when they instituted an income tax. Before then, everything was done on import and export taxes, which is a good idea. That's how you should generate money because, trust me, folks, there's more goods and services coming into this government every day. Trillions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars every day. And you know what? Here's the real funny part about our income tax system that I'll get to you. We'll get back to the subject here in a second. But you pay into it, and you go, oh, I got to pay tax. But at the end of the year, you go, oh, I'm going to file, and you get all your money back. Now, what's up with that? It costs more money to give you your money back than just let you keep it in the first place. And that's an argument really for another day, because I don't have that much time left. I just would like to get this through. So anyways, so the end result of this bill is, if there's still that kind of garbage in it, despite what Sid Rap and the New York Times and the University of Minnesota and every other talking head organization is going to do or say, if there's still this new Green Deal garbage in it, Donald J. Trump will not sign it. And he will immediately be on Twitter and say, I had to veto that because they wanted to push their new Green Deal garbage. And you, the American people, you sir, you ma'am, the American citizen, need to know that if you live in California or New York, you need to take the trash out. You really got to take the trash out. And it's time to get rid of the people that have been there for 40, 50 years that say, oh, we're going to fix government, because you know what? You haven't done it yet. Joe Biden says, oh, I've been up in government for 50 years. I know what's wrong. I can fix it. Well, why haven't you fixed it yet? That's always my question is, you say you know how to fix it. Why didn't you? Why didn't you tell your president, Obama, to fix it? He wasn't my president, but he was theirs. You know, why didn't you tell him how to fix it? No, instead, we have an outsider, a businessman, a real estate mogul, construction guru, television star, for reality TV shows. This guy, Donald J. Trump, comes in there and everybody says, well, he doesn't know what he's doing. Apparently he does, because you know what? He's getting all the congressmen upset on the Democratic side because he's cleaning the swamp, folks. He is draining the swamp. It's a big swamp, and it takes time. And water flows downhill, but so does other stuff, which clogs up the waterworks. And he's cleaning it up as quick as he can. And I'll tell you why the Democrats are so upset with him. Because when he got rid of the mandate, that mandate to have health care, and he shut that down, which basically removed Obamacare from our lives, thank goodness, and the non-affordable Health Nobody Cares Act, he basically made it null and void. And you know what that did? That took all the money, millions of dollars, out of the back pockets of the Democratic congressmen and senators that were making money on this, because, see, here's part of the insider trading. They know what's coming up and going on with these bills and legislations, and you, as would be an absolute, if you were so inclined to be dishonest in this way, you'd be a fool not to invest in every single healthcare insurance company you could put money into, because you know what, folks? It was a captured audience. 327 million people had to have insurance. You had to have it. And if you didn't, you paid a fine. Yeah, you paid a fine. It was not a tax. It was a fine. Because if it was a tax, it would be even across the board. But because it was a fine, it was based on something else. And that's why everybody's so upset with Donald J. Trump from the Democrats. So, good luck, Mr. Trump. I know you're doing the best you can, and I have faith in this man. And if I didn't, I would tell you straight up, he did this or did that. I've looked through everything he does. And, whenever things pop up, I go, what's going on here? And I do the research. So good luck, Mr. President. I hope you do a good job. And I know you know what you're doing. And I just can't wait till we actually see some stimulus package. Oh, by the way, before we go, I just want to let you know, every time they've tried to do something with this stimulus package, the Democrats have shut it down. So if you're in California, New York, you need to get rid of those Democrats, because they just cost you $1,200. That's right, $1,200. And that, my dear sir and madam, getting rid of those Democrats just makes common sense.